You have the secret ingredient, you just have to put them together.
Do you know your secret ingredient within that helps you decode your negative thoughts and emotions to break free from those patterns so you can unlock your true potential? In this episode, Dr. Yasmine Saad leads us through an unplanned mini therapy session. She was named one of 3 top psychologists in New York and known as the wise psychologist. Dr. Saad developed the inner message approach, helping people decode their negative thoughts and emotions so one can lead a more fulfilled life. She is the founder of the Madison Park Psychological Services, which is on the Inc. Business 5000 magazine list for the fastest growing company shaping the future. Dr. Saad believes one of the main reasons for her success is she has figured out how to meet her patients where they are, so both therapist and patient can start to work immediately without having to go through lengthy explanations. Welcome, Dr. Yasmine Saad. I cannot tell you how honored I am. You are like a role model for me, honest to God. So brilliant. And Dr. Saad is one of the top psychologists in New York. I can't even begin to tell you how many awards she's gotten. And she's a visionary, and she's been called the wise psychologist, as well as she's the founder of Madison Park Psychological Services.
It's part of an Inc. 5000 company. It's the fastest growing company changing the world.
It's such an honor to be here with you.
Mine. I mean, look at you. Look at you with all your experience and all your wisdom through all the ages.
Tell us a little bit about how you got to where you are.
Well, I always say, you have the secret ingredient, you just have to put them together. So, I grew up with a father who was strict, who wanted me to be the best. So, growing up was not the easiest, but this being the best served me, because when I wanted to become a psychologist, and I was actually headed to more business school because that's where my parents wanted me to go. And I thought that would be the death of me. So I decided psychology is what I love. And so when I told my father that, he thought I lost my mind because there was no financial safety in psychology, no emotional safety in psychology. So I just told him, when he told me, how are you going to provide for yourself? I said, I'll just be the best. Whatever you have in your life is your training for your future. And I want everybody to remember that. We're very quick to blame our parents, to blame our past, but all of it is a training. So the way I got to where I am is really thanks to my parents. I had a dad who wanted me to be the best. I had a mom who really wanted me to focus on doing what I love. And that's what I did. I picked psychology because I had a melodious tone at school. And I was growing up in Paris. You had to decide at age 16 what you wanted to do. And I thought, I like when people come to me because I'm calm and peaceful and they like the advice. I like helping people. I'm going to become a psychologist. So I blended my mom's approach of do what you love with my dad's approach, be the best. Moved to the States at age 23, redid psychology, redid PhD, and went on from there, became an adjunct professor at Albert Einstein College of Medicine. I went up in the ranking in the hospital. Then I decided as much as I wanted. So I opened my private practice. It became busy. And then I decided, you know what? I want a more balanced life. So I train and I teach nationally. So why don't I hire the best and provide patients with more people like me? So I built this diverse group practice called Madison Park Psychological Services 12 years ago, based on people who wanted me. So and people think I'm everything. So some people think I'm Greek. Some people think I'm Italian. Some people think I'm from all over the place. Some people think I'm Asian even, or Pakistani, or from ever. So it's fascinating. So in my practice, I have psychologists from every cultural background, diverse race, diverse religion, diverse gender identity, so that we can tailor match, so that people don't have to explain their background. They don't have to explain things. And we can start doing the work right away, very efficiently. And so that's how I got to create Madison Park Psychological Services, get where I am. And then, of course, I invented my inner message approach, which is what we do in the practice. And that has led us to have so much success very fast. In one session, you can really help people moving. So that's how we got to be an Inc. 5000 company and everything.
When you decided to go on this path, did you ever think you would get to where you are today?
Never. I always never in a millionaire. I joke around that if you had told me what my life would be today, I thought, what, me? Never. So you have to understand, I was a shy girl, very close to my mom. I didn't dare to speak so much loud or anything. And now, my mother sees me on stages and she's like, where is this coming from? Like, where? And I said, I know. Like, if you would have told me then you will move to the States and you will live there, there's no way. If you would have told me I'll marry the husband I married, I said, there's no way. If you would have told me that I will embrace traditional Chinese medicine, study under a grandmaster of traditional Chinese medicine for 12 years, I would tell you no way. I was scientist. There's no way. If you told me you're going to be one of the first psychologists to open a group practice in New York City that's going to be booming, I said, like, there's no way on earth, any of it. Tell me I was going to be on TV. No. And each time I evolve, I'm like, wow. I mean, I didn't think any of that. Life is fascinating. So I want everybody to embrace the idea that life might have better plans for you than you think if you let yourself be guided and see the growth opportunity. Because we're so quick to fall into the negative or see, this is not what I wanted that, and then you might miss some better opportunity. Like, I think the secret to my success is just that I'm saying yes for when it comes my way.
That is my line, like you, and I'll share just a little bit because I do want to hear about how you work with your messaging. But I grew up quiet, shy, I stuttered, I got no direction, and I fell into fashion. And then I had the opportunity to get into sales. I could have said no because I had no sales experience. Instead, I said yes. And that led me down a whole successful path of sales and did that for years. And then I had my own business. And then when that dried up, I found coaching, which is a kissing cousin in a way. And who would have thought, looking in the magic globe, that me, who had a lot of challenges growing up, had to really fight their way in life because I had no direction, had to find my own way, that I would be a coach of 20 years, that I would have a podcast of 3 years, here we are. And I started thinking about speaking again and was on a stage in September. I actually agree that, and I say yes. You cut yourself off when you say no because of fear, right?
That's right. Because your mind will tap into, I'm not ready, I don't have it, and all of that. But look at you. I think that's exactly like from stuttering to sales, which is all about speaking and convincing, to coaching, to speaking on stage. That's amazing. I love it. But I so agree. When the pandemic came, that was the first time that TV reached out to me. And I was like, what is this? How do I do it? I've never been on TV. I've never been on TV on a screen from my home. I don't even know how to do it. And I was like, of course I'm doing it, but I have no idea how. And then I started figuring out, like, there's always support. And that's the other piece that I want the audience to know. There's always support. So I started calling who I know who's in communication, who maybe knew how to do this TV from home. And I thought of somebody I knew who was doing that for their company. And so they were like, oh, yeah, very easy. You elevate your computer to the eye level, you put the light behind you. When we had nothing of that. I'm like, okay, I got this. We'll figure it out. And that's why I think if you look for support in life, you will find it, and that will make your life easier. Because one is saying yes. Second is look for support, because you won't be able to do all this journey by yourself.
And, there are so many people, like I am north of 75.
You're amazing. You are amazing. You look amazing, and the wisdom that you have is amazing.
And I'm still looking to grow and develop and become, because I did Buddhism training. And, I think Michael Clinton, who wrote the book Roar into the Second Half of Your Life, and he was on my first year podcast, it really caught my attention because I always hid my age. Like, oh my God. And he said, ageism doesn't matter anymore. And it made me stop in my tracks and say, wait a second. My life really began at 40 when I had my sales jobs, when I did coaching, when I did my podcast, when people would look at me and say, what? What are you doing? And I said, I'm doing this. Who cares?
That's amazing. I think you should share your stories, because there's so many people, they miss the train. No, there's never. You're on path. It's so wonderful, because that's exactly what it is. You can be living a life of purpose at any age. And so you're the example. I love that.
Thank you. So we want to hear, I'm sure, about your inner message approach, which has to do with negative thoughts and negative emotions, correct?
Yes. So I labeled it inner message approach because the idea was that every thought and every emotion you have carries your own blueprint. It's like carries your DNA. It has your current present state, your desired future, the path you're taking to get to one to the other, and the obstacle along the way. And most people don't think about that. Most people think, oh, this is a negative thought. It's really bad. Like if I think I'm not good enough, either I'm not good enough, or I have to not think that or replace it with positive. And I'm like, wait. Why are you not asking yourself, how come I'm having this particular thought? Why not another thought? Why this one? So the content of the thought, the way you say the thoughts, it's not if you say, I'm not good enough. It's very different than I'm good at this, but not good at that. Or so it carries so much. So I wanted people to stop and see that the thoughts and the emotion they're having are really coded messages. It's more like dreams. When you have a dream, you're always wondering, what did it mean? I know it means something. I know it's related to my day life. I know it's related also to my unconscious, but nobody thinks about it about thoughts and emotion, but they're exactly the same. So this is where I wanted to a bit change the world of psychology, because the world of psychology, either you have the psychodynamic principles that everything is unconscious, and by understanding people's pattern, you access the unconscious. But I'm like, you don't even have to understand the pattern. It's just already at the surface. If you decode the thought or the emotion, you already know the unconscious. And I will do it for your audience and you'll see. And then you have CBT, who is like thoughts or distortion. Just like they're distortion, you have to correct them. And I'm like, wait, but there's a reason why that thought came and why this particular one, this a bit missing and lacking. So this is where I embrace that. And it's all my work. I've been trained in many approaches to psychology, CBT, DBT, psychodynamic, all kinds of psychodynamic. And my 12 year of Eastern, and it was really based on my traditional Chinese medicine knowledge. When people think traditional Chinese medicine, they think acupuncture. Reality, traditional Chinese medicine is about understanding the relationship of your body, your mind, and the cycle of nature and life. So it's a very rich blueprint. And the idea is that everything is contained in the one. That one thing contains it all if you can just decode it. And this is where I thought one emotion carried the whole blueprint for a person.
Stay tuned. Dr. Saad has a lot more to share with us. I'm Terry Yoffe, an international 3-time certified executive business and communications coach. As we come to the end of 2024, what lessons have you learned about yourself? What goals would you like to put into place for 2025? How do you plan to implement these goals to ensure that you are creating the changes you want? I've been working with clients on this very subject for over 21 years and would love to see how I can help you create the life you want in 2025. Please reach out and let's start a conversation.
So I'll give you an idea how I think of it. So let's say you're frustrated. You're telling yourself, I am frustrated. Well, in order to be frustrated, you must have unmet desires. So basically, that frustration is coming from within you to call your attention to your unmet desires. And frustration, usually push people to action. It's not like feeling down. Like feeling down because your desires are not met makes you sit, make you just like sit. But frustration makes you want to resolve. Frustration involves movement, always. Like most people, when they're frustrated, they want to break things, they want to shout, that's why they think frustration is bad, because they feel it's destructive, because they're not using in a way that is constructive. But so if you say, I am frustrated, we already know that there's something within you calling your attention to your unmet desires, almost like pulling your sleeve so that you go take action. So we already know that. Now, what do we know? We know that you're in solving problem mode. Whenever you are in that action, you're solving problem mode. You're not into a more passive state, thinking state. You're in action, fixing problems. And likely you'll be focused on the outside. So I already know your present state is that you have unmet desires. And who says unmet desire? That means there's a promised land. There's a better land for you that you have some notion about. So we have to figure out what is that promised land and how come you're not there. Second, it sounds like you want to move towards it and everything within you is pushing you to move. So how are you moving? If you're moving by solving it on the outside, it's not really going to work. So I always say, let's look. So for example, I recently gave a TEDx in Florence, Italy, about how to make sense of your negative thoughts. And in the TEDx, I give this example that let's say you come home and you had a long day of work. And you come home and you look at the dishes and you say, oh, I'm so frustrated. And I say, okay, let's decode that thought. Why are you frustrated? You will tell me because the dishes are dirty. That's the first obvious. I'll tell you, yeah, but let's go deeper. Why are the dishes dirty so frustrating to you? And you will tell me, well, I work so long, all day long. The last thing I want to do is do work. So, now we know. The frustration is not the dirty dishes. The frustration is about how your life is very tilted towards hard work. That what you're talking about is inside of you, there's this calling like, I just don't want to work hard at things anymore. I'm tired of working hard. And so that frustration with the dishes is actually an inner calling for you to rebalance that lifestyle. And if you don't decode the thought, you're going to be fixing the dirty dishes problem. And you will never look at the root, which is that work-life balance. And it's calling within you. And you don't need that much to notice it. It's so at the surface. And once you have it, you actually are figuring out, okay, your present state is that the way you're approaching life is one where you have to put effort and work and be responsible. And that way of being is wearing you down. You're frustrated each time you encounter more work. And you have a promised land where it won't be that hard work anymore. That will be a different and easy. So then it becomes, okay, well, could it be? Why is it so hard? Why is life of hard work? And then you likely will look within and you realize that you don't believe in things coming easy. because you choose a path of hard work. Likely you believe that in order to succeed is through effort. And so you're more focusing on effort rather than support. Maybe your life is focused on overcoming the challenge, pushing the challenge. And, when we have to, well, where's the support? Or you have difficulty receiving support? How come there's no support? How come it's not more easy for you? And with doing that inner work, suddenly you rebalance things. So that one thought, I'm frustrated with the dishes, contain your present state, one of hard work, overbalanced life towards challenges and effort, your promised land, a more balanced life where you're supported when things are easy. There's effort and ease and together so that you don't burn out and you don't get tired. And with it is your obstacle that right now you're really moving forward through effort. What is that about? So now we're getting your mindset. Now we're getting everything. Just one thought carries so much about you. That's how in 10 minutes I can help someone. You just give me one thought, I already know so much. Imagine if you gave me 2, 3, 4, then. So that's why people say, yeah, go ahead.
In a way, honestly, going through not quite that, but something. And I've just realized, thank you, that my mother worked very hard. She was the breadwinner. And I'd sit by the window and watch her come home. She worked so hard. And I just realized that between my knee surgery and everything else, it's like I use the word depressed, but frustrated because I want it to be easier because, I've still got plenty to do. And it's like, oh my God, I can't pick up the pen and move it from here to there.
And exactly. And so now you see how you want it to be easy. But if we go one layer more, it's like life, when you have knee surgery, life is literally forcing you to slow down. It's forcing you to stop. So then it's about realizing what happens to you when you're not in movement. So now we go to the next level. You decoded the frustration, you realize the mindset, you realize everything. Now we're going to the next level, which is there's a force within you that keeps pushing you for movement. And without the movement, you're a bit of a wilted flower. So it's almost like the appetite is so big, but we have to figure out what to do with the restlessness, because you'll be good at the activator engine. You'll be good, but you won't be good with nothing. How can you enjoy life? It's almost like I say, it's like eating an orange. If you eat an orange mindfully, like if you just sit with it, you peel the orange peel, you savor the taste, the juiciness. I mean, that experience is more life than anything else. And it requires sitting in. But most people are moving and acting and I'm going, okay, I'm peeling my orange, I'm eating it. And then, oh, well, that was juicy, but I want another one because I didn't really feel the juice. So you want to think a little bit about that because you are in this movement that gives you life, that gives you fulfillment. But then when life throws you need to stop, then it's like, wow, it's pretty depressing. If I cannot be in my expansion and movement, so we have to figure out that means there's a calling within you. It's kind of telling you right now, you are blossoming when in movement and you're wilting when you're a little bit too quiet, a little bit without movement. So what can we do about that? And that's your contemplation right here and there.
The irony is the knee surgery, which nobody tells you, the amount of pain, excruciating pain, and intense pain that I went through for a few weeks. I didn't work really because I couldn't focus. And 8 weeks later, I'm back to working a little bit. I finally have given myself the grace to say, this is where I am, that I still have pain. I walk slowly. It's taken everything. It's like I'm depleted.
100%. Pain requires so much energy.
And I said to my husband, I don't know, maybe I need a hiatus.
I think it's about discovering the joy in the hiatus, because right now you see hiatus, you see everything as It has limited you. It has prevented you. It has cut your appetite for life. When maybe there's something else, maybe like what's being asked of you is to digest tremendous amount of pain, which require tremendous amount of energy. So it requires focusing all your energy on that. And it requires a bit figuring out, well, how do you process through emotions that are related to pain? Because when you're in pain, you'll have, it's the other emotion that are the issue. It's the I'm so frustrated or I'm so down and moving through them that it has to come out of your body. Like most people are not taught, but I usually tell people if you're frustrated because you're in so much pain, shout in a pillow until you have to laugh. Like it has to come out. It's normal that you be frustrated. There's nothing wrong. So but it has to move through. If you're feeling like down and depressed, is because you're leaning towards the negative side of pain, that it limits, that it constrains, but maybe it's building an ability we don't know. Maybe it's helping you connect to pain in a way that for the future will help you connect to other people's pain and will expand your empathy as a coach. We don't know. All the thing we know is our mind does not want this experience because our mind does not want pain. And we have to acknowledge that, and it's valid and it's normal. But we have to figure out a way to figure out how to make use of this experience so that you can go through it while noticing what your mind is doing, which is tilting the pendulum a little bit towards limitation, restriction, the lack. When I think it's actually full. It's too full. It's too full of emotions, too full of experience. That's why it's stopping the body, because it's too much to process.
Wow, who would have thought we've had a little therapy session here? Wasn't planned.
I hope that's okay. It's just like...
But it's great because it gives our audience an opportunity to I did not plan this, to see how you work. And it's one thing that if somebody can hook into, they can pull the strings to help themselves.
That's right. Imagine already just in our 10, 15 minutes of conversation, your mind is going to be thinking about what we talk about. That's how it goes usually. Afterwards, you're like, oh my God, I see it now. I see it here. I see it there. Oh my God. And it starts. And it's like this inner message approach really taps into your own blueprint, where you are exactly in this present moment. And for most people, it feels so true that then they start thinking and applying it everywhere. So it's like it opens a door for you to enter and see wider view, way wider. That's the idea. And it opens people's doors.
Oh, wow. I love this.
I love you.
You're so brilliant. So if anyone wants to get in touch with you, how can they reach you?
So depending what they want, if they want to become a patient, then I have a group practice, Madison Park Psychological Services. And so they can go on the website, Madison Park with a K, psych.com. And there I have more than 40 therapists that are trained in the method, and we do an initial consultation for free, and then we match, and then we'll do this. If they want to have me on stage to speak at their event, so that's my own personal website, dryasminesaad.com, very simply. If they want a bit of a freebie, a PDF on how to decode their thoughts and emotion, on my website, dryasminesaad.com, there is one with steps, different step to decode your thoughts and emotion. And if you want this wisdom and hear my insight, every day I post on social media. So you can find me on Instagram, LinkedIn. I provide so much value there. Again, it's Dr. Saad for Instagram, LinkedIn. You will find me. If you have difficulty, just Google me. I'm a little bit everywhere.
What is one tidbit that you could leave our audience with?
You have everything within you to figure out your life. And if you could just understand what your body, your mind, your emotion are telling you, and what's being asked of you from life, you can enter the door and you can walk in purpose. So your job is really to find your partner who will help you figure out why do you have the thoughts you're having, why you have the emotion you're having, and in a way that they will connect you to the essence of who you are. So you have everything within and you're constantly guided, as I say. Like you have an inner essence that's constantly talking to you through thoughts, emotion, body symptoms. And we understand that very well at the body level, right? If you have a pain, you're like, oh, my body's telling me something. You know that. You might not know what it's telling you, but you know it's telling you that. Thoughts and emotion are exactly the same thing. So I want people to feel there is support and you're built with an apparatus that's supportive. And that's my contribution. Right now, the whole world is thinking the mind is dangerous. The mind is the enemy. You have to control the mind. You have to manipulate it. When I said, well, you were created for a purpose with a mind. Why were you created with an enemy within? I mean, it just doesn't make sense to me, right? The body has a certain function. The mind has another function. The mind basically is just a translator. It translates imbalances, things it feels from the body or for life, into negative thoughts. It translates imbalances into problem for you to pay attention because none of us want negative thoughts. So I want everybody to think the moment you have a negative thoughts, it's kind of you talking to you and saying, hey, pay attention to this. That's all it is. So it doesn't mean that your thoughts should be taken at face value. It shouldn't mean they should be dismissed. It shouldn't mean that your mind is the enemy. It just, that's how it talks because we do pay attention more to the negative. We want to fix negative. So that's what I want to leave our audience with.
Oh my God, that's incredible. And I have a saying at the end of my website, which is if you live with purpose and passion, your life can become extraordinary. Dr. Yasmine Saad, your life is extraordinary. I know you work with purpose and passion, and this has been beyond for me. I so appreciate your time.
I so appreciate you for your wisdom, your passion, and this platform and sharing your message.
Thank you. Thank you, my dear. As a recap, Dr. Saad's compelling and extraordinary conversation has offered you thoughts on how you can create significant changes in your life. Reviews encourage people to listen to my podcast. If you loved what you heard, please go to Apple Podcasts and leave a rating and review. For related content on extraordinary work, please visit my website, trycoaching.com. In my next episode, you'll get a chance to peek into the world of millennials and see how they are creating change in their corner of the world. The podcast will be presented by 3 industrious millennials. Don't miss this sneak preview into their world.